right. Continuing right along. Tell me a little bit more about high school. You played football, right?
I played at it. I was never very good. I did make first string in finally my senior year.
And had fun and enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, no, it was more about having a good time and being one of the crowd and all that kind of thing, being the so to speak, big man on campus type thing.
Uh-huh. Did you have to live up to Kurt's reputation at all?
Not really, no. No,
He played football too, right?
yeah. We actually, when I was in the 10th grade, they wanted me to go over and play with the varsity because I was larger than
Bigger.
most kids.
Yeah.
And Kurt was still in playing football at that time, so we had one season that we were on the team together.
Ah.
But no, he was primarily a defensive back, and I played a receiver, offensive, but everybody played offense and defense. We were a small school.
Yeah.
We had we were recruiting very good though at that time, because the very first year, 55, 56, that season we were both on the same team. We had, we won our league, the Northern League, that year. And that year they didn't, for some reason, have the city playoffs. But anyhow, there wasn't much to live up to.
Was there any rivalry between you two?
No, not
As
really.
far as sports?
No, not really.
What about girls?
Well, he stole my girlfriend.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
You sure it wasn't the other way around?
No. When we started going to, I had asked her out a couple of times. We'd gone out a couple of times, and
What was her name?
that's getting pretty private,
It was only 70 years ago.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Come on, or you can't
her
remember.
name was Nancy.
Nancy.
Yes. And so anyhow, we got invited to go to the Eagle Rock Christian Church. So we went on over there.
You and Nancy?
Well, Nancy was already a member over there.
Uh-huh.
So that was one of the things that she had mentioned, of course, going out and actually what time you could spend with your girlfriend. So Kurt and I both went to church over there, and then he went ahead and stole her.
You'd had a couple dates with her,
Oh, yeah.
and then she went out with him?
Oh yeah, no, we were friends.
Well, that's what you've told me, is that in high school you had more female friends than girlfriends.
I never anybody really serious in high school until the senior year. I started dating a girl from Glendale High School.
Uh-huh.
Out of LA City, as you know, Glendale, but nearby. They
Yeah.
were only just, and a lot of the same hangouts around there.
So how'd you meet her?
Let's see, how did I meet Sharon?
Alexa, off. Sorry.
I think she was going to the same church, Eagle Rock Christian Church.
That Nancy introduced you to?
Yeah, she didn't introduce me to Sharon, but
No, but the church.
yeah. And
What was her name?
Sharon.
Oh, Sharon, sorry.
And anyhow, I started going out with her. which was kind of a surprise because she knew another girl that I went out with, knowing it was a friend of the family and so forth, but they were in the same class in Glendale, and hers was, she was, immaterial, I can't remember her name, but anyhow. So anyhow, it was just friends type thing, and about that time I graduated high school, and I was in the Navy Reserve at that time.
Why did you join the Navy Reserve?
Well, Kurt had done it, and it was just kind of a backstop, you know, rather than they were still doing the selective service, or whatever they called it then.
Draft?
The draft, basically. And so I joined the reserves. You know, we had meetings one weekend a month. You know, it was just a Saturday and a Sunday, and a 2-week cruise in the summertime, which would seem like, you know, good times. Have a good time about it. You know, that was basically my idea at that time, and have a good time about it.
So this was your first year out of high school?
Yeah.
That you were in the reserves. So when did you lose your virginity?
Well, I still have it.
Uh-huh. How old were you?
Oh, I was probably about 16, I guess.
Uh-huh. Was it Nancy or Sharon or?
No.
No, it was younger.
Yeah, it was before that.
Uh-huh.
I think.
You mean you don't absolutely remember when you lost your virginity?
No.
You're lying. There's no reason to lie now, Gary. You're 85 years old.
No, I don't want people to think badly of me. Taking advantage of young girls.
Uh-huh. Who taught you about the birds and the bees? Did your mother talk to you about sex?
Not really, no. No.
Your big brother?
We were left to find out about that type of stuff out on the streets, like teenagers are supposed to, you know.
Oh, and you didn't have any health education classes in high school?
Well, the health education classes at that time was how to brush your teeth and that type of thing. It wasn't very intimate as far as that goes.
Uh-huh. No
No.
biology or anatomy or
Nothing. No, they.
how it all works.
Back in the 50s, they didn't do that.
Uh-huh.
But
Okay, so you joined the reserves
yeah,
and you went to college right after
yeah,
high school?
yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah, no time off or anything, and graduated in June and started Glendale College in September.
Did you have jobs while you were a kid?
Oh yeah, no, we.
Oh, the chickens.
Yeah.
You hauled the chickens. Talk
Well,
about that.
even before that, we'd work holidays down at the chicken processing place. Kurt and I both, as a matter of fact, Dad, he was a good friend of the family. In fact, he used to live next door to the mom and dad when we were real little. But they were real close, and Dad worked for him on the weekends, just a little extra cash in a pocket. And especially holidays around turkeys and so forth, we would go in and help process at the time, killing and scalding, and picking, running them on the picker, and that type of thing. And then when I got to be 16, I got my driver's license actually. I got my driver's license at 15 and a half. That was a big deal, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So I got my driver's license, and then I went ahead and got at that time they called it a chauffeur's license. That was your first step into a commercial driver's license. You couldn't drive passengers, but you could drive commercial or drive trucks and so on. So it was, I don't know why they allowed us at 16 years old, but I started helping them drive then. And
So where would you go?
most of the time we would drive as kids. My dad, like I say, being a friend of the family and so forth, he would volunteer to drive up to, and they would drive up to Tulare in the Central Valley, and they would pick up chickens, laying hens, and they would pick up eggs and bring them back down. And on those trips and so forth, if we had to, get away, we would go that way. We would go with Dad and drive up through Bakersfield and over the old Ridge Route and so forth. This is long before I-5.
And you'd ride together then?
Just Dad and I, Dad and I, and then Kurt and Dad. And we were, again, this is before we were old enough to drive. And later on, he became less and less a purveyor of eggs, and he was moved more to the chicken aspect of it. And instead of having old hens and eggs, he would go ahead and we would start bringing in chickens from the Antelope Valley, Lancaster and Palmdale. And that's when we were old enough at that point. That was just a point starting to get old enough to drive. And there's a couple of times before I was still 15 years old, I would even spell my dad coming up over Angeles Crest driving the truck. Going uphill is not a big deal, all you got to do is just keep it going. So watching him drive and so forth, and I never really had lessons about what you got to do, but just watching it, how it was. So after Dad stopped driving, he wasn't driving quite as much anymore. Then Kurt and I started driving and so forth. And we did all kinds of trips and so forth, overnight driving in fact, while I was going to Glendale College there, where I would go ahead and take off about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening, drive up to Lancaster and load up the chicken truck, and then drive back, get a few hours sleep, and then go ahead and go to school the next day.
That's probably pretty good money.
Not really. We were getting about $20-25 for a trip.
Well, minimum wage was what, $2.50 or something back in those days?
That's about right. So, but anyhow, we started doing that, and there was all kinds of trips that we made and so forth. Occasionally, depending on where the product was, they'd go ahead and send us up to Central Valley, Tulare, Porterville, get a load. Somebody had a load of eggs that they wanted to bring down. We'd take the flatbed up there and get those, because by this time they've gone ahead to the chicken racks where they're permanently mounted racks on the truck. There's no place to stack eggs. They're just permanently mounted racks.
Yeah.
And Kurt and I made a couple of trips, the two of us, up there. I made one trip from Highland Park there where we lived, up to Lancaster to pick up some chickens, and they were young laying hens. They would go ahead and separate them out as they sex them, and anyhow, they were a truckload of laying hens that I took a whole truckload up to Petaluma.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were taking laying hens up there. So that was quite a thrill for me anyhow,
That was a big trip.
Yeah, big trip like that. Of course, coming back just outside of Tracy, the damn truck threw a drive shaft. So I called in. They arranged to have a tow truck come and get me. He says, you go ahead and rent a car. It'll be a couple, 3 days before they can get to it and fix it and so forth. If you want to rent a car there while you're staying there. And I had another girlfriend at this time. She lived up in Oakland, just southeast Oakland there.
How did that happen, that you had a girlfriend in Oakland?
She was a very close family friend of a neighbor across the street. And one Christmas, we got together, went over to, he was, in fact, he was an attorney and was our attorney when we went ahead and opened up the skating rink, ultimately later time.
Yeah.
But anyhow, she was there, was a family friend of Joe and Audrey Lazzaroni, that's the neighbors. And so she was kind of special, I thought. She just wanted to be friends. So anyhow, we went
This
up.
was still high school?
Yeah, just after high school.
Oh, just after high school.
Well, yeah, I guess it was just before college, so it was in that time frame.
Summer of love.
Yeah, and so I got a car. He let me rent a car. He says, just hang around there and bring the truck back when it's done. So I went ahead and drove on over to San Leandro, where they lived.
What was her name?
Her name was,
You'll think of it.
anyhow, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, they had a nice little Chris Craft boat,
Oh,
and so we went water skiing in the back bays there in San Leandro.
Really?
By Oakland, yeah.
cold water.
Yeah, it was kind of a fun trip. Got the truck fixed and got it back down, drove it into LA. All kinds of truck stories, driving stories. Truck came apart and this broke and that kind of thing.
Well, before we move on past high school, you mentioned a couple times that you guys your family would go camping, and especially in the summer, and your dad would take you up there and then leave you guys and your mom there. Is
Right.
that right?
Yeah, that was around 52, 53, 54.
You were little boys.
Well, 12, I was
Yeah.
12, 13. And we would, that was when you could go up and you could set up a camp any place you wanted to in National Forest. And so we went up and we took a friend's teardrop trailer the first year and camped on the side there in the grove of trees, cottonwood trees there and around Convict Lake. And then Dad would go back down because he had naturally to work. He didn't have all that much vacation time, and he'd go back and work for a week or 2 weeks, and then he'd come back up and spend another 3 or 4 day weekend. And so it was a lot of, out in the boondocks and fishing on the side of the lake and hiking. Gerry his big thing was catching little ground squirrels and chipmunks.
And traps.
Well, he used a mom's pot. He used about a 6-quart pot, and he'd prop the lid up, and put.
Oh, but and a stick. Prop it up with a stick.
Prop it up with a stick
And a string or something.
with a string, pull the stick out. Yeah, it was the basic. It was the basic bird trap that we always used to use as kids.
Uh-huh.
That went all well until one trip when we went back home for a couple, 3 weeks or what have you, and came back out, and there was about a half a dozen ground squirrels that had found out that, this is where the food is, and they got into it. The folks had at that time had purchased a 16-foot camper trailer, tow trailer.
Uh-huh.
So I never did sleep in that. We slept outside in the canvas awning around it and so forth. But yeah, the dad had come up. Naturally, they wanted to go fishing over in Crowley because much bigger fish that produced a lot of great big fish, 3, 4, 5, 6 pound trout. So when he would come up, we would probably go with him a couple of times out on Crowley and go fishing.
Did he have a boat at that time?
No, at that time he would go over and schmooze the lifeguards who operated the boat rental operation up there, the Parks and Recreation. And that's where Dad worked, was the LA City Parks and Recreation.
Oh, right.
So they knew him because whenever they needed anything done, they'd just call him up and send equipment down to LA, and he'd weld it and take care of it and mend it and that kind of stuff. So whenever he came up, he just let them know, and we had a outboard motor, but we'd get one of the boats that they had right there in the landing, and go put our motor on the boat and go on out and fish for trout. But didn't do a lot of outside of Convict and Crowley at that time. That started doing that later on when I growed up.
Well, this is running kind of long, so probably better take a break. And
Bye.